Now we're going to take these content ideas and we are going to put them on our content calendar so then we can get started on organizing to batch create content and really map out that we are executing and hitting every single core topic that we should be. So we are going to go over to Google Calendar. This is where I want you to store your content calendar. This is where if you were to hire on a team, they could instantly come in, take over this calendar and get all of your content posted and executed for you. This is such a great tool to use and it is free. We are going to be planning content for May 1st. I want to give everyone enough time to schedule their content, batch create, really prep and get into the groove this first go around. Our goal is by the second week of April, you will have all of May content done. It means that you have created the content, edited the content, wrote the caption for the content, and scheduled it on Meta. We want all of that done by the second week of April, and I'm going to teach you how to do it, so don't worry. Our goal is that the second week of April, we're actually working on June's content. So this system is going to allow us to stay, once we get into the rhythm of it, a few months ahead on content. So we are going to go to May and we are going to start scheduling in our content ideas. So what we're going to do is start on May 1st. Because this is a Friday, we don't want to put our big brand new post that we're working so hard on out. It might not perform as well in the algorithm, but we do want to hold ourselves accountable and let's start on May 1st. So we are going to put B-roll. What we are doing here is we are scheduling in our topics. So now we are going to go back to our content ideas sheet and we are going to start from left to right. So we're just going to go down the line of the very first content idea. We are going to copy it. When I copy it, I like to turn it gray. So when I come back, I can see all of the content ideas I've already used and we are going to schedule it in. And so we are just going to go row by row. And you could take this a step further and make the calendar invite match the color of the topic if you want to color coordinate everything. So from a bird's eye, but if you know that you are just going down your content pillar line one by one, then you know that you are hitting every single pillar. And then what we are scheduling is 30 days of content of organic content. So then if you get any brand deals, you could double post that day if there's any trends. We just want it that you have your base foundation of organic content constantly scheduled and flowing. So we will go back down the lines one by one. Now pretend that all of this is full. So we now have, it's less than 30 days of content, but we have a whole month of content. And if you wrote down 30 ideas, then you should be, and especially if we're doing B-roll on Fridays, you should be able to fill up almost all of June as well. So get all of the content ideas that you have written down right now scheduled. So now that we have our content scheduled out, we are going to go one by one and we are going to organize our content and we are going to make a list of what is needed and where we could batch create together. So I recommend utilizing your content ideas. You could create a tab down here that I would do for May content. And then play around with how you want to organize this. What I would do is first I would type in B-roll. So I have 5 different B-rolls scheduled for the month of May. So let's go back to B-roll and do 5 scheduled for Fridays. This could be CapCut templates. You could have content ideas already for the B-roll, but we just know that this is content that when we are scrolling Instagram or we're laying in bed, but maybe have a little bit of energy, that instead we could be taking that time and turning it into productive editing, or we could be utilizing it to get inspiration for our B-roll. I just want to separate how many B-rolls we want to create so that we have no excuse when we are just sitting here like, I don't really feel like creating content and being in it right now, but what else could I be doing to move the needle forward? So we have B-roll. Next, we are going to organize with in-home. And this is all content that you can create in-home, obviously. And so you don't have to leave. It doesn't have to be on location. And you can organize this. You could go through and put the topics or the dates. You can put the date of the topic. So 5/8, 5/12, 5/17 are all content that we need to shoot in-home. This could be on location, and then you could create like text or education based that's utilizing B-roll. Organize this how you see fit. It's really going to be based off of each of your content, but we want to get this organized before we go into batch creating because this is how you are going to batch create. So once you have your month on here, all of May, what's in home, then you're going to go through anything supplies that you need to order. So you could put supplies and you could be like 5/8 recipe or groceries. So I know the topic on 5/8 needs groceries, or 5/12 skincare, Amazon hot items. So I need to get the hottest item on Amazon, purchase it so that I can try to get affiliate sales off of it. So go through, make your B-roll, what you can shoot in home, what you shoot on location, whether that's out and about or if you go to certain spots to shoot, and what supply list that you need. This way you have an overview of everything needed to get done for May, because we're going to spend 1 week creating the content, the second week scheduling content. Now it's your job to go through and create this. So what we want to focus on is week 1 is going to be creating the content. We have all the back end done. We know what needs to be batched together. We know supplies that we need to get and for when. Now we are going to schedule in for the next week 2 to 3 hours a day of creating this content. Now, time will speed up. Sometimes you'll be utilizing B-roll. You might be able to get 2 or 3 videos done while filming one because of the way that you can take from it and repurpose. That will come with time. This is always going to be your hardest time, is getting started. And then from there, you will find your rhythm and flow. Remember, this is not something that we're doing in our free time or part-time, or this is just a hobby. This is your business. You have to show up for work. Content is work. So schedule in this next week 2 to 3 hours a day that you can be creating your May content. Say you're not able to go out and get ready and you don't want to do all of that tomorrow. Great. Then your goal for tomorrow is to get all of your B-roll content done and any other reels that need text on screen. Schedule 2 to 3 hours to do that. I want you to pause and I want you to do all of this. Get May scheduled, organize everything, map out in your calendar over the next 2 weeks. Like, granted, this is for May, so we could technically start or be creating content from now until the end of the first week of April. But I want you to get into the flow that you spend 1 week creating content. The second week is editing and scheduling the content on Meta. So this way you are always 2 months ahead. Once we get May scheduled by the second week of April, then we can spend the next 2 weeks of April working on June content. So come May 1st, you have content that is scheduled and created and ready to go live and will go live on an automation that you don't even have to think about all the way until June 30th. Then you spend the next 2 weeks of May working on July content, the last 2 weeks of May working on August content. Not only are you able to plan for holidays ahead of time, you can jump on trends, you can jump on forecasted keywords. Your content is going to have the opportunity to perform so much better because you're allowing it to live longer on the algorithm. You are now planning August content in the end of May. That way you have so much time to get back to school content running in July. You can stay ahead of these trends and allow your content to live and to perform for so much longer. So we are going to pause here and then we are going to go into the next video, which is going to be editing and scheduling your content through Facebook Business Suite.